Hey, Mrparka here to review a new one from Doug Waugh, I believe you say his name, and Alex Powers, I believe it is. Sorry, terrible with name remembering here. But they are the Grosshouse, and there's actually a bonus film on here which I watched as well called Don't Touch That Dial. Grosshouse, the title says it all. Essentially what we have here is, I can't really, it's going to be kind of a little difficult to describe this one. We have Marty, who's kind of this nerd, movie obsessed guy. He's like a man child living with his mother, who is played by Michael Schmidt, who essentially is a prostitute who molests him, beats him, treats him like crap. And you know, he's trying to make a way for his life, become a big movie kind of director and whatnot, and hates how what Hollywood's become with the mockbuster, yada yada yada. His sister starts coming around, and that's when things get even worse for Marty. What happens here is his mother lashes out against them, and I won't spoil too much. But really, The Gross House feels kind of like a John Waters movie meets Killing Spree by Tim Ritter, with the zombie type element and just the bizarre ridiculousness. It is very amateur, low budget film, and you can tell these things by kind of like overly long and done improv, where the improv should have been cut short, where you could tell it's improv, and camera angles, how one will be like a medium and one will be a wide, and the settings on the cameras will completely change. Don't know if it was two cameras running and stuff like that. Just things that you can point out that were obviously kind of mistakes here and there. The special effects, there's mostly, just kind of just some blood thrown around here and there. The acting's purposely overdone, over the top. Some people come off better than others in this type of film. A lot of the actors play more than one role. What I will say about Gross House, it does live up to its name. It's very, very disgusting. Lots of nasty things involving fish sandwiches on weird, nasty peanut butter and fish sandwiches. I don't even want to get into it, but cannibalism, all sorts of boundaries broken, but it's done in, like I said, this kind of so bizarre, so absurd, kind of John Waters esque way that it has a mood of its own. Did I definitely cringe during some of the film? I'm not gonna lie. Uh, I felt that almost every scene went on too long, and like I said, it doesn't seem like there's any lighting in the movie. It seems like it's kind of just let's go get these shots. Definitely very guerrilla style. I know the movie has heart, and they did put a lot of work into it, but the digital effects are pretty rough when they're in there. All in all, it's kind of just a weird, bizarre, kind of gross movie that some people might like. It definitely feels like it should have been made maybe 20 years ago, like maybe the time Tim Ritter was making movies, like that kind of caliber. But I mean, Tim Ritter is, has done a lot with his films. I'm not saying it's the same league as Tim Ritter. I'm just saying that it kind of has like, it seems like the same technology from like back then with the Tim Ritter films. Now this one's definitely going to be up to the people. It depends how low budget films you like. I mean, I love some low budget films myself, but there's a lot of technical problems with the movie, and the acting is over the top and ridiculous. On top of that, the special effects really aren't great. The characters are just batshit crazy. Michael Schmidt is one of the most dedicated, crazy actors ever. Lots of, I believe it's just kind of rear projection or green screen effects, or you got to see the guy's arm go where it's not supposed to and just disappear, things like that. And it's got a lot of its problems, but a lot of the people did seem to have a lot of heart in the movie. There was a headshot in here that I thought looked pretty good, and like I said, Michael Schmidt is just a madman. In fact, Doug has got to be a madman because these movies is probably very offensive to people, and they just don't seem to care. You gotta give him respect for that, I guess, in a certain way. You got to give him respect for um, going out and making this bizarre, crazy movie with they didn't seem to have any boundaries. Well, even though they had a lot of limitations, they still went out and made it. There is that old thing that I've heard, and I've repeated myself though. But if you're gonna say something that offensive or be offensive, you better damn sure make it clever or funny, or sometimes it just becomes embarrassing. And this movie, sometimes for me personally, was becoming on that kind of cringeworthy kind of deal. But they definitely knew what they were getting into, and it was purposely done. It is just a kind of a hard gross out watch at points too. But that's Gross House. It does have some outtakes on there. The other film is called Don't Touch That Dial, which is even crazier, to be honest. At a running time of nearly 2 hours, I do think it's too long. I'm kind of a stickler for trimming the fat on that kind of stuff. As I get older, I'm just like, it's long. I get mad at all sorts of movies from any sort of budget being too long. So take that, as it is, but it's essentially kind of a UHF storyline, except much grosser and much more offensive. We have this what is it, Michael Schmidt. He's basically running this public access channel, and they tell him that we're closing you down, these big Hollywood scumbags. Lots of making fun and poking fun at Hollywood and their lack of imagination, and also hipsters and the VHS collecting culture, poking fun at that as well, and nerdum and stuff. But essentially what we have here is they're told that this is going to be their last day, so they go out and pull out the vaults, all the old nasty stuff they could never ever show, which involve Christian kind of pedophile metal guy on a talk show. Both of those are played by Alex Powers. He plays both roles, which is kind of crazy. He's a kind of like a G.G. Allen meets kind of a pedophile priest character, which is really kind of a bizarre mashup that probably should never take place. That goes on really long. Some of it's kind of funny. Other times I'm just like, my God, how offensive can you be? There's a whole bunch of segments on here. That's kind of the point. A back alley abortion clinic. This kind of also reminds me of something that Ron Atkins would make a little bit, but definitely even more low budget than a Ron Atkins movie with all those characters coming out and just playing other characters being racist. There's person in blackface, there's person in playing an Asian character and just being over stereotypical and ridiculous. I think some people might find it funny. Some people get offended as well. You heard my line earlier about the embarrassment type deal. Some of it is funny, I would say, and the Chinese cooking show, stuff like that. It is almost jaw dropping that they're kind of doing this kind of stuff still, but at a runtime of 2 hours, it does wear out its welcome. The ending kind of won me back a little bit just because the heart of it all and how big and ambitious they were. But a lot of the effects are really rough around the edges. I know I shouldn't be the one to judge, but they definitely are. I do appreciate the stop motion, and Grosshouse had a great claymation stop motion scene, which I got to give shout outs to now that I'm remembering it. But yeah, this movie is definitely exploitative. Especially the second one is definitely more of that vein, kind of just running the gauntlet from like kind of racism and ridiculousness, but it's all in a like ridiculous, over the top, goofy way. Again, definitely feels like it should have been made about 20 years ago or 15 years ago at the very least. But that is Grosshouse, and Don't Touch That Dial. Like I said, Grosshouse feels kind of like a Killing Spree meets like a Big Fat Crazy Ethel meets a John Waters film, and Don't Touch That Dial feels kind of like UHF meets Necromaniac or something like that by Ron Atkins. So yeah, these mashups are really crazy. There's some weird shout outs in here. A lot of the characters that are watching, that are tuning in for the last public access television show, their acting ranges from obviously amateur stuff. Some of them are probably good friends of theirs, and some of them are funny. There's a guy who has his fingers constantly dipped in honey, talking about Clown House, masturbating to it. So you guys get the humor here, and a lot of people will probably be offended by this kind of stuff, but I'm pretty much unoffendable, if that's a word. But this is from what is it? It's Worldwide Multimedia, and this is 2 films in here for the price of 1. It is Don't Touch That Dial and Grosshouse. You can get these on Amazon and a lot of other places. And these guys, these filmmakers, this crew is just a bunch of wild madmen and mad women. But I'm Mrparka. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.
Jesus H. Christ in heaven. My life sucks West Hollywood ass.
Oh, fucking... Holy shit.
Grosshouse.
Why won't it open?
Oh, hi, Donnie.
Hey guys, ready for a great show?
We can't seem to get this door open. Do you have the new key? I mean, we saw a sign up here that says we have to go see the new studio. Hey, it's about something.
Ah, welcome, Mr. Donnie DeFeo. We've been expecting you.
When did you guys take over the studio? Where's Mr. Building?
Come on, Donnie. You're telling me you didn't know that this channel is an utter outdated shit channel? I come straight from Hollywood. I'm replacing all these shows with reality shows, remakes, reboots, stuff like that. Ha! I'm replacing your show.
Who the hell do you think you are? My show's been on for 35 years!
Your show is old news, Mr. DeFeo. It's time to give this generation's people what they really want.
This week, Don't Touch That Dial has been announced. It's been canceled. Yes, after 35 years, the show has been canceled.
Well, guys, in our last show, we gotta make it a winner. Where's all the stuff? They said they packed it up.
The only thing they left us was all the tapes from all the uncensored stuff that we got sent over the years that we just couldn't show due to FCC regulations.
Welcome, Los Angeles, to the final courageous episode of Don't Touch That Dial.
Tonight, for our final guest, we have a chairman from Communist China.
Chairman Mao, motherfucker.
Hey, don't you use language like that on my show, you.
Alright, I guess hotline.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Hi.
Oh yes.
Who is this?
I'll teach you how to really love thy neighbor.
Come on down. Come down to Greece's Abortion Palace. You can have free abortions, no abortions, abortions for free. Even if you're not pregnant, you can have an abortion.
Stop getting your slimy crap all over my chair. This isn't slimy crap. This is the semen of thousands of horses.
I think I love you.